Welcome everybody, this is Rich Brooks, and I want to welcome you all to our first all-content, no-fluff, 30-minute webinars. And we're going to be putting on these webinars about every 2 weeks on different subjects, so we hope that you check them out. Any ones that seem good, make sure you're here. I'm definitely going to try and get all the content that I plan on sharing done in the first 30 minutes, and then if you want to hang around and ask me any questions about your own marketing afterwards, I'd be happy to try and answer as many of those as possible. As the webinar goes on, if you have any questions, please just throw them into the questions section and we'll be answering them at the end. All right, so today I want to share with you a framework. And this is a framework that's going to hopefully take some of the mystery and confusion out of digital marketing for you. A framework that's going to help you develop your own digital marketing strategy. This strategy is going to be more effective, take less time to implement, and will be completely measurable. Now, I've been doing this digital agency thing, although I haven't always called it that, for 20 years. And in the 20 years that I've been doing it, working with hundreds of entrepreneurs, small businesses, and nonprofits, I've realized that no matter how unique your business offerings are, there are certain things that are just true for almost every business that wants to succeed online. You need a website. You need to drive the right people to that website. You need some of those people to contact or buy from you. And you need to measure your results. It really is as simple and complicated as all that. And so today what I want to do is kind of take you through a framework that's going to help you develop a digital marketing strategy for your own business. And I just want to confirm that the slides are moving forward. Everybody should see a new slide. So if one of you could just give me a shout out and let me know you're seeing a new slide, that would be awesome. Now, as you probably saw from the presentations, from the slides, that we're going to be talking about the B.A.R.E essentials of digital marketing today. And B.A.R.E is an acronym. It stands for, the B is for build. It's all about developing a platform that's going to turn visitors into customers. Then there's attract. How do we get people to our website in the first place? Retain, or how do we stay in touch with people after they've left our website? And finally, evaluate. How do we measure and analyze our results so that we can constantly be improving what we're doing, putting the focus on things that work, and stop doing the things that are just wasting our time? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rich Brooks, and I'm the president of Flyte New Media. We're a web design and internet marketing company. We work with small businesses and entrepreneurs across North America who are looking to increase their online visibility, drive more traffic to their website, and turn more of that traffic into leads and business. I also run a conference called the Agents of Change. It's actually a conference that takes place here in Portland, Maine, as well as being live streamed around the world. And it's also a podcast, a weekly podcast, totally free, and you can find that on iTunes or Stitcher Radio. And basically, it's a weekly interview show where we interview digital marketing experts on a wide variety of topics, all about how you can reach more of your ideal customers who search social and mobile marketing. I'm also the tech guru on 207, which is a news program on the NBC affiliates here in Maine. And earlier this year, I wrote a book called The Lead Machine, The Small Business Guide to Digital Marketing. So that's kind of a little bit who I am, but let's get back to you. Let's start with the idea of building. We want to build a website that's going to be effective. So what does that really look like? First of all, websites must be mobile friendly. So right now, more than half of the world's traffic is going to the web on a mobile device. That's less true in America because we have so many laptop and desktop computers around at work, at home, at school. But as I look at my traffic reports, as I look at our clients' traffic reports, I'm just seeing the percentage of people coming on a mobile device growing. And you definitely don't want to just immediately push away a bigger and bigger portion of your audience. So your website has to be mobile friendly. Your website needs to be fast. When we first started, we were 20 years ago, we were very conscious of how fast a site loaded because people were on dial-up modems. As everybody seemed to get broadband, I think we got a little bit lazy about that. But now that we're also dealing with so many mobile devices and so much Wi-Fi, and maybe the connection's not quite as strong as you want it to be, fast loading websites are becoming more and more important. And as people's attention span shrinks, that's becoming more important as well. Your site needs to be nimble. And by that, I mean you need to build it on a content management system. I myself am a huge fan of WordPress, but whatever content management system you choose, as long as it's easy to use, as long as you can make updates so that you don't have to wait around for your web developer, that's going to be important. So your site needs to be nimble, and it needs to be designed for results. And when I say designed for results, what I'm talking about is design means different things to different people. But if you design your website so that people take specific actions on them, so they fill out your contact form, or you design it so that their attention is all about, joining your email newsletter or downloading something, that's being designed for results. So you just want to make sure you don't just have some brochureware sitting out there, but you think about, how can I get somebody to keep moving forward down the sales funnel? One important thing at your website is continually increasing conversions at your site. And so there are a number of ways that we can focus on increasing conversions. One is, I have a lot of small businesses that want to get the phone ringing more often. But when I look at their initial website, I can't find their phone number. And they explain that it's on the contact page. And shouldn't everybody know to look on the contact page? Yeah, but you know what? We're busy, and we don't want to go looking for your phone number if we just want to call you, because it's probably going to be easier to click the back button and then find the next person in the search results. So if you want your phone to be ringing, then you need to put that phone number in the top right or left of every single page on your website, and you should be making sure that it's HTML code rather than just an image of your phone number, because that's going to make a difference. On a smartphone, if somebody can click on that phone number and call you immediately, that's going to speed up the amount of time that it takes them to reach you. Contact forms. I always tell people, don't put your email address on your website for a few reasons. One is that there's just these email harvesters out there that are basically there to capture email addresses off of websites and start selling them to hackers and spammers from around the world, and you don't want to get all that spam. So what I recommend instead is use a contact form. If you're on WordPress, I love Gravity Forms. I strongly recommend it. But this protects your email address from the harvesters. Plus, it kind of gives people a little bit of framework so that they know what information they should give you to move the conversation forward. I recommend asking for as little as you can get away with, which is usually just enough information so that you can get back to them. So for Flyte, we use name, email address, and phone number, and that just increases the chances that we can follow up with somebody. Most times they still give us their company name, company address, websites, what they want to talk about, and a whole bunch of other stuff, but that's all optional. So definitely include contact forms. And the other nice thing about contact forms is you can collect all this data and then have it automatically go to some sort of contact registration or a CRM, so that you don't have to copy and paste all this information. And then we also have an option for people to sign up for our email newsletter when they're filling out the contact form, so that automatically goes to Constant Contact. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with a contact form you can't do by just putting your email address on your website. We're big fans of email newsletters. In fact, I believe the next webinar we have scheduled up is all about how to build your email list. So make sure that you have a lot of different opportunities for people to opt into your email newsletter. And then include calls to action. At the bottom of every single page on your website, and perhaps in a few other places as well, you want to tell people exactly where on your website they should be going, or what the next steps are, like call us for a free consultation, or download this white paper, or use this calculator to see your savings. Whatever it is, include calls to action to help direct them and guide them to success. There's obviously a lot more we can talk about in Build, but again, today we're just trying to provide this framework. The next thing is, how do we get people to our website once we've set it all up? And when it comes to digital marketing, there's a few things that are really going to make a difference. Search engine optimization, social media, and digital ads. And I just want to kind of break those down a little bit for you. So search engine optimization is always going to be critically important, especially to small businesses that need to get their name out there. And there's 3 areas that you really want to think about when you're optimizing your website so you can rank higher at Google. On page, or how the words on your individual web pages match up with the search that was just done. Off page, which is primarily the number of incoming links from other websites to yours. And then technical issues as well, which we'll go over. So to figure out what words people are using at the search engines, we want to do some keyword research. So one of the things that I might recommend is brainstorming a bunch of keyword phrases and then using a tool like Google AdWords, the keyword planner, and just start throwing them in there. So here we have a few different keywords that we might be looking for: healthcare cost, health insurance rates. And then Google will give us back some information about the number of average monthly searches for those words. So that gives us a sense, is anybody actually looking for this? Also, how much competition if we want to do some paid search? But often the competition for paid search has an overlap in organic search results as well. And then if we did want to bid on these words, what it might cost. So we can see that health insurance cost is 5,400 monthly searches, down health insurance rates only 1,300. So health insurance costs might be a better search term for us, at least in terms of what people are looking for. But as we go down further, we can see health insurance has a huge amount of monthly searches. It's a little bit broader, so that's to be expected. Medical insurance, however, is another one. And so we can start to see other keyword phrases that might perform better for us. This gives us a sense of what words people are using for, and then these are the words that we want to target on our website. So as we go ahead and we start creating content for these web pages, we need to keep in mind that every page is an opportunity to rank well at the search engines, so every page should be optimized for specific keywords that we're targeting. Now, Google is trying to push us away from targeting too heavily on keywords, and I completely agree, because at the end of the day, search engines won't buy your products, people will, but it's important to know where search engines are looking so that you can come up in these rankings. So one of the most important places to put these keywords is in the title tag, and here you can see the title tag is Infusion Therapy Services, New England Life Care. New England Life Care being the name of the company, so they're leading with some of their keywords. In this case, the assumption is that their best performing keywords that are descriptive to this content is Infusion Therapy Services. You can just take a closer look at that right there. Another place to put it is in the header tags. So we have New England Infusion Therapy Services as well. We want to make sure that those words are appearing in the subheaders and also in the body copy too. And then behind the images, we can use something called alt tags. And so the images on the page should also have these alt tags that use the keywords that we're going for. Now again, we don't want to over optimize pages because Google frowns on that, but we want to make sure that we're making sure that it's clear that this page is helpful for people looking for infusion therapy services here in New England. And one other key place to put your keywords is in the meta description. So above we saw the page title, and the page title usually becomes the big blue link on the Google search results. But then that 1 to 2 sentence description that's underneath that's often pulled, not always, but often pulled from the meta description. So if you're using a tool like Yoast or All-in-One SEO on the WordPress platform, you can actually change your your meta description to match up, and just make sure that you're getting your keywords in there as well too. Now, for a lot of businesses, your local search results are incredibly important too. I'm sure you've seen it. Here's a search for dance studios that I did. I'm not really saying that I'm a good or a bad dancer. It just happened to be the search I did. And as we can see here, the top results are what we call the local search results, or it's often referred to as the 3-pack or the snack pack. And what it is that map and the 3 top local results. And then there's the more places link we can click on, but chances are we're not going to click on that. So it's really critical that you appear in those top 3 results. And there's a lot of stuff that's going to help you get in there, but one of the things that you want to make sure is that your NAP information, name, address, and phone number, are identical on every platform, on your website, on Facebook, in all of the online directories, and possibly most importantly, in the Google My Business. You also, if you want to rank well in search engines, need to consider paid search. And why do I say this? Well, here's a search for home inspection. And as you can see, Google has gone away from 2-column approach to almost always putting everything in 1 column. And up to 4 ads can appear above your results above the organic results and even above the local results. So it may be that the number one organic result for a specific search doesn't even show up until you start scrolling down the page. And that's even worse when it comes to mobile searches. So if you really want to ensure that people are going to see you when they do a search for, say, home inspection, then you absolutely need to make sure that you are investing money in paid search. Let's shift over to social media for a second. When I talk about social media, I often talk about having two different categories. One is social platforms. The other one is social networks. Social platforms are all about kind of getting up on a virtual stage, if you will. And there's a number of reasons why we want this. It helps us increase our visibility. It helps us tell our story, or perhaps the story of our clients and customers. And it helps with engagement. When I write a blog post, I can get comments back on my blog post. That's engagement. You may need to decide which platform you want to be on. There's a lot of different ones out there. You could write blog posts. This is great if you love to write and if search engine optimization is important for your success. You could try video. Video also helps with search engine optimization, and you can also get subscribers and a lot of views at YouTube. In fact, YouTube is the world's second most popular search engine. So that's another great way if you've got products that are demonstrable or if you want to establish yourself as an expert. Podcast, smaller audience, but very loyal, very intense. And this has been a great way for us to grow our brand through the Agents of Change podcast. And we've gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars of business that we can directly attribute to the podcast that we've put on. Webinars. A lot of people don't think webinars are social, but I absolutely think they can be social. You can get on the webinars beforehand, like I did a little bit today, and chat with people. You can ask questions. You can have surveys. Webinars can be very interactive if you want them to be. And SlideShare, which is a platform owned now by LinkedIn that is basically like YouTube for PowerPoint presentations. So these are great social platforms that help establish your credibility and tell your story. Then there's social networking, and we're thinking about Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn here. These platforms or these networks allow us to engage our audience where they are, promote what we're doing, and drive traffic to our website. Now, we don't have time today to get into all the social media websites out there, but it's impossible not to mention Facebook. And Facebook is probably the social media platform or the social media network that most small businesses are going to use because almost everybody seems to be on this. So this is just a social media page for Split Rock Distilling. Now, where I really find the best results in Facebook is with the ads. And we see this time and time with our clients. Ever since Facebook changed their algorithm so that you're not reaching as many people organically, Facebook ads allow us to reach just about any group we want to. There's a number of different ways they allow us to do it. We can target our ideal customer because they've got such great data on everybody. If you want to reach women who are looking to move in the next 3 to 6 months in Des Moines, Facebook knows who those people are and you can advertise to them. You can also take your email list or your customer database and upload it to Facebook and then advertise to that audience or advertise to everybody but that audience. And then you can also say to Facebook, hey, listen, I've got all these people. I know these people. I'd like to find other people like them. Facebook will create a lookalike audience and allow you to advertise to that audience as well. Facebook, in partnering with some other organizations out there, knows so much about us, about our customers. Yeah, it's a little bit creepy as a human being, but as a marketer, it's pure gold. So if you're looking to reach people on Facebook, then you definitely need to be budgeting some money for Facebook ads. And then there's just every other platform. There's Twitter, and there's LinkedIn, and there's Pinterest, and there's Instagram, and then there's even specialty ones like Houzz, and I'm sure you have some in your industry as well. I'll say this for every other platform. Follow your audience. Go where they go. If they're not on Twitter, then you don't need to be on Twitter either. Engage with them there. They're there to connect with people and sometimes brands, and there's no reason for you not to engage there. And then advertise. All platforms have their own individual advertising platform, whether it's Twitter ads or promoted pins or Instagram ads through Facebook. There's just a lot of different ways to ensure that you can get in front of your ideal customers. And now we'll just shift over to email or to retain. And basically here what we want to do is we want to stay in front of our audience after they've left the website. Seems impossible, right? But yet it's so critical that we need to stay in front of people because they come to our website, they're possibly in just kind of information gathering mode, and then they move on. And we can't just hope that they're going to come back. So how do we make this change? Well, first of all, the biggest area is in email marketing. We need to drive people to sign up for our email newsletter. If we get them to sign up for our email newsletter, they're giving us access to the most valuable property on the internet, which is their inbox. Even during this short presentation, you're probably missing hundreds of tweets and dozens of Facebook status posts and all these other things that are going on that'll disappear forever, most likely. But all the emails that made it into your inbox are still going to be there. So this is just one reason why it's so important. It's such a valuable part of the internet is your customer's inbox. And if they give you permission to be there, you've got a real opportunity to sell to them. So obviously one of the goals then is to get as many qualified people onto our list as possible. We're not just trying to get people onto our list. We're trying to get the right people onto our list. So what are some tactics that we can use to kind of really build our list? Certainly there are things like the very annoying but very effective pop-up window. There is things like sticky footers and sticky headers, and these work surprisingly well. I didn't think something like this was going to work, but when I went back and looked at how we got people to sign up for our email newsletter on Agents of Change, the number one driver were these seemingly innocuous, quiet, sticky banners at the bottom of all of our pages. Also, if you get a blog is a great way to generate more subscribers. And some of the ways that we've kind of tried to make this more attractive for people is we talk about how, this is the header, by the way, on our blog. When you go to takeflyte.com/blog, you see the number of other people. So we're creating some social proof here. We give people the specifics of what they're signing up for. We've got a quote from an industry influencer, and then we've got a very obvious button. And thanks to our friends at Lead Pages, we've discovered that that the most highest performing or highest converting tool is not to show that you want somebody's email address, but just have a one-click button that then opens up a pop-up window that then asks for their email address, or in our case, their name and email address, to get them to join. That seems to convert at a higher rate. Who knew? And then we also have included a number of value adds on our blog posts. So for example, here is a blog post we wrote recently called Does Your SEO Suck? A 13-point checklist. And then we've included in a couple places throughout that blog post, if you don't want to read the whole blog post, or if you want the checklist in an easy to use format, just download it here. And that, of course, is behind an email registration. Once people are on your list, you want to get your emails open, read, and acted upon. And a big part of this comes down to the subject line. What exactly is going to get somebody to open your email? I'll tell you what's not going to work. December newsletter. That's the dullest possible subject line ever. Instead, you want to give them a reason to open up your email. Maybe it's about an obvious benefit like free shipping this month or 20% off this month. Other times it could just be something that's really of interest to them growing their business. Or it could be what we call opening an information gap, so that there's a question or something raised in the subject line that they just have to find out the answer to, so they're going to open your email. Another thing that's going to help is who the email is from. Now, there's a lot of people out there that say it's important to have a person's name on the email because people are more likely to open an email from a person rather than a brand. I see the logic there, but again, if your brand is more well known than your marketing person, then I would actually recommend that you go with the company name. And lastly, it has to be mobile friendly. And by that, I'm just talking about the fact that the number one activity on mobile devices is often reading email. If your emails are being delivered to a mobile device and they're not mobile friendly, people are just going to delete them. In fact, there's a lot of evidence that shows that over, I think it's like 77% of people won't read an email or will just delete it out of hand if it's not mobile friendly and they open it up on their mobile device. Actually, there is one more bullet point here, and that's you need to have a clear call to action. Emails these days are not supposed to be long. They're more about getting somebody out of their inbox and back onto your website or landing page. So have a very clear call to action so that you can get them out of where they are and then into where you want them to be. And the other main way that you can engage with people after they've left your website is called retargeting. And if you've never done this or you don't know what it is, you've probably at least experienced it. You go to Amazon and you're looking for a space heater and you see a bunch but you don't buy one, and you go over to Facebook and suddenly you're seeing ads for space heaters. And you go to Fox News and there's an ad for a space heater, and you go to CNBC and there's another space heater, and then you go to your friend's blog and there's another space heater. That's retargeting. When people come to your website, we can drop a little cookie on their browsing and follow them all around the web, continuing to show them ads. And this has been incredibly effective and provides a really strong ROI. And you can do it through something like AdRoll, which works on a bunch of different platforms, or you could do it specifically through Facebook or even Google now. And what I like about the Facebook retargeting actually is that since so many people might use one computer at work, and then they might get on their mobile device, and then they might get on their tablet while they're watching TV, since Facebook knows who you are because you're logged in to use the platform, it can always show you these ads regardless of where you are. So that's really important as well. And now Google's starting to roll out the same sort of service as well. So retargeting is going to get even more creepy and more effective as time goes on. And again, if you can't get somebody to sign up for your email newsletter, the next best bet is to retarget them. And the last thing I want to talk about today is evaluate. And this is such a critical piece that people miss. Very often when I'm doing a live presentation, I'll ask everybody to raise their hand if they've got Google Analytics. And 90 to 95% of the hands go up in the audience. Then I say, okay, keep your hands up if you looked at your Google Analytics in the last week. And about 90% of those people put their hands back down. This is the thing about Google Analytics. It's incredibly powerful, but it doesn't work if you don't go there. It's just like having a pair of jogging sneakers that you never use. You're not going to get fit that way. You need to actually use Google Analytics to get any benefit from it. There's so many reports, and we're definitely going to do a webinar specifically around some of the most important reports in Google Analytics. But at a bare minimum, it can teach you how many people are coming to your website, whether that number is increasing or decreasing, how they found you, what are their favorite pages, where are they going to, did they fill out your contact form or sign up for your email newsletter, where is your best quality traffic coming from, and a whole bunch of other information as well. So I can't say enough about making sure that Google Analytics is installed and then utilizing it to really understand your marketing. You can take it a step further with some of the Heatmaps and Scrollmap tools out there. These are usually paid tools, unlike Google Analytics. This is from Crazy Egg, and so we see some Heatmaps and Scrollmaps to the right. So on the left, we can kind of see where people have been clicking on different pages on our website. And on the right, we can see how far down the page people are scrolling before they give up. So this will also give you a lot more information about how people are using your website. And of course, there's a lot other places to get metrics as well that are equally important. You can see things in Facebook Insights, Twitter ads, and of course your email newsletter software should also be providing you with great metrics as well. And when you combine all of these tools together, you can really start to get a good picture of how people are using your website and what elements of your digital marketing are most effective. So again, everybody's business is different, and the individual things you do within your marketing are going to change from company to company. But if you focus on building a website that turns visitors into customers, attracting people there through search, social, and digital ads, staying in front of them or retaining their attention with email newsletters and remarketing, and then evaluating your results with Google Analytics and Crazy Egg and all the social media platforms and email platforms out there, you're going to be successful. You're going to be generating more leads at your website, which is ultimately the goal. My name is Rich Brooks. I work with Flyte New Media, and we help small businesses and entrepreneurs grow their business and generate more leads online.